Alrighty, so example 4 is a little bit different because it looks like we have like a combined inequality, right? So the first thing that we need to do is solve for the variable or our letter and leave it in the middle, okay? So we need to get rid of this 4 and we need to get rid of this minus. Whenever you're doing this, you want to make sure that you do it in all 3 of your parts, okay? So our goal is to get the x by itself. Pluses and minuses separate your parts. You have this 4 and you have this negative x because you always take the sign, right? So we need to move the 4 first. Because the 4 is positive, we are going to subtract 4 in all of our places, okay? So now when we subtract 4, we get negative 2 less than negative x less than 3, okay? So now again, our goal is to get that negative from out of the middle because we want the x by itself. So that negative is connected to the x by multiplication. So essentially what you do is divide everything by negative 1, okay? So since now we are dividing by a negative, what happens with this sign right here? It flips, right? And then the same thing with this sign, okay? It also flips, and that is, again, because we are dividing by a negative. So whenever you divide by a negative, you flip the signs, okay? So here we now have a positive 2, we have a positive x, and we have a negative 3. If you notice that the only issue is that you have the wrong sign, you can just take all of your parts and change the sign. So here, a negative becomes positive, negative becomes positive, positive becomes a negative, and because you're working with inequalities, you just flip the sign, okay? There is another thing that you guys are supposed to remember. Whatever this is always supposed to be the smallest number, okay? So, is 2 smaller than negative 3? No, it is not. So that means that now we have to take this entire inequality and write it backwards, okay? So first we have negative 3. And because I'm writing it backwards, I'm going to have to flip the sign now. So it looks like it's eating to the left right now. So we're going to be eating to the right. Then I write my x, and again I need to flip my inequality, so it's eating to the right, and then I have a 2, okay? So that is what the inequality looks like right now, okay? So let me write this on my second board, and then we can finish it on out. So we are eating to the right because it has like those little alligator mouths, you remember that? So, right, so again, yeah. We have our little alligator. We are eating to the right. So, I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before, but if we haven't, let me kind of just write it down here. So, whenever you have your variable in the middle, as long as your smallest number is on the left side, you can use this trick. So, if you are eating to the right, that means that you are healthy, so you're eating healthily. So it's going to be on the inside of your belly, okay? So that means it will look something like if you had like 2 numbers, it's gonna shade that inside portion, okay? And if you're eating to the left, that means you're not eating healthy. And you're going to have to shade on the outside of your belly. So, ooh, I cannot spell, okay. Sorry. Eating to the left, so that means you're unhealthy. Okay, and it's going to be on the outside of your body. I don't know why I'm writing like this, sorry. But essentially, we'll have like a little number line, and if these are our 2 marks, we're going to shade the outsides, okay? So, for us, we are eating to the right? So I'm gonna write that right here. We're eating to the right, which means that means we're healthy, so we're gonna shade the inside. So I'm gonna draw this out, and I'm going to write my negative 3 and 2, and because it's eating to the right, that means I shade the inside. Because there are no lines underneath, that means we are going to have open circles, or parentheses. I'm not sure how the homework does it, but whichever way. So either open circles or parentheses for that one. Perfect. So this would be the answer in interval notation, and this would be the answer graphically, or like I said, it might be with parentheses instead of open circles. Perfect. Yeah. So both of these will be the answer depending on what the question is asking you.